Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by the one, the only Tommy Joe Martins, one of the co-owners of Alpha Prime Racing. How's it going, man?
Going full speed ahead here, Casey. We're as busy as we can be here in the off season.
All right. So talk about what you guys have been up to since you made the transition from Martins Motorsports to Alpha Prime Racing. I know it's been an adventure for you guys in the last few months, but kind of talk about how it's been going over there.
It's really been a lot of business stuff for me, which is, I guess, probably a blessing that I've had my dad and Rodney doing so much on the business side. And I've done part of it, but now I'm doing all of it, and it's a lot more. So really, it's setting up a company. A lot of the stuff that I'm learning about North Carolina tax law and a lot of the real sexy stuff that all the racing fans really want to hear about. So I'm learning all on the business side and just being a small business owner, really, that is going to be on a pretty big stage here in a few months. And so we're trying to grow. We've hired a few people, trying to get better organize our shop. We've completely renovated our shop. We've reorganized, recoded, kind of resurfaced, and now we're going through cars and replacing and trying to get all of our parts down to where we're standardized on all of our cars. Moving forward, we're just trying to get better as a race team, better organizationally, better prepared going into next year.
Okay, so I know that there's you've announced a few drivers. You're going to be in the car, of course. Cesar Baccarello will be in the car some. They already announced Raja is going to be in there. Then you announced Andy Lally's going to be on some of the road courses, maybe some ovals from the conversation that I had, and then Ryan Ellis is going to be in some of in the car as well. Talk about the drivers you've assembled to race this the 44 car and potentially a second car.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with the lineup that we've got. I think obviously Andy Lally, his record speaks for itself, what he's been able to do on road courses. I think Ryan Ellis is a guy that a lot of people are probably sleeping on, just a popular underdog driver for a lot of years now, but I think this is going to be one of the best opportunities we'd ever been able to give him. Raja, everybody knows he's going to be a star in NASCAR. It's just really cool that we get to work with him kind of at the beginning of his NASCAR career. And that he's chosen to do that with us. And obviously Cesar and I, Cesar's bounced around a couple of teams here. He really wanted to get more involved on the ownership side, help grow, this team, this organization. So he's going to do that behind the wheel a little bit some with sponsorship. He's able to kind of wrestle up, and then I'm going to do the same thing. We've got great partners that we're going to be announcing here a little bit more about my sponsorship schedule and what's going on with that and the races that I'm running for the team. But I feel really confident with the lineup that we've got for the 44 car, and we feel like we're going to be a competitive team going into next year in what I think is probably going to be the most competitive year of the Xfinity series in a really long time.
Yeah. So basically, I've been talking about that with a lot of people. So from the teams that I've talked to, it's looking like we could see 40 plus, maybe even 50 plus Xfinity cars from people that I've talked to in the industry. How tough is it going to be for teams like yours and a lot of the other teams like, the BJ McLeod, the DGMs and all that to make the field, because it's going to be a challenge now that practice and qualifying are back.
Yeah. And that's what this all goes back to, right? Practice and qualifying, being a part of this again, there's no security for teams. You're never safe. I think if you feel like if you're past about 25th in the owner standings, that you absolutely could go home. And quite frankly, probably be lower than that and could still go home. So there's no safe spots on the grid. That you got to go out there and execute every practice, every qualifying session. We think, at least in my opinion, I think there's going to be 45 cars showing up every single week. There are that many drivers that have sponsorship. There are that many competitive rides out there, kind of in the middle part of the field. It's just going to make for a really tough year where points are going to be extremely valuable. That's why I feel really confident in the lineup that we've kind of laid out here. We got some veteran drivers, a really talented rookie driver running on some tracks that he feels really comfortable on. So I feel like we've put together kind of a group there that I feel like can attack this schedule and go be competitive.
I know I've asked you this before, but how many races do you yourself plan on running?
Yeah, I mean, that's so flexible. The thing is, like, we're probably losing money with me in the car. I feel a lot like VJ McLeod in that sense there. Now I've got some great sponsors, but I just know what I want my team to be valued at. And we do a lot of other stuff with me behind the scenes, right, where I'm adding value to the team. But I know that straight dollar signs, we want to present a car that is worth X amount. And it tends to be like every time I'm racing the car, we're not probably quite getting exactly what we should. So my schedule's flexible. I got some hard yeses. There are races that I know that I'm going to be running. Darlington next year, I'm going to be running that both times. Um, Daytona, it looks like in the spring, it looks like I'm going to be running that race in February. And that's really cool. That's obviously a huge race, so important to start the season off well there. So there are races that I've kind of started to nail down in my part of the schedule, but I still expect it to be somewhere between 8 and 12 races.
I know you told my good friend Michael Carey of TobyChristie.com that you plan on running a second car sometimes. Where
Yeah.
are you at in terms of that? And have you picked a number for that?
No, I mean, we don't have it set in stone. We're prepared to do it probably, I don't know, between 6 and 10 times. I mean, we're not, that's not something that we're really set up as an organization to go out there and do it every single week. It would take us growing a little bit. We would probably need some more equipment. We would need more people. And I've told other drivers that are kind of poking around and looking for a ride next year. It's like, do we have the infrastructure to be able to run 2 full time? Yeah, we could, but it would take some money on the front end to kind of make that happen. And I feel really confident in what we got now, which is probably 1 full-time car, running another car, probably at some of the speedways, some of those road courses where we know, we're going to have a great veteran driver in the car for us. We feel like those are the places we're going to be the most competitive.
And I also actually just spoke with Raja before I talked with you. He told me that there are possibly 6 races that he's planning on running. Is that kind of what you guys are looking at?
Yeah, the important thing for Raja is keeping his rookie of the year eligibility in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So that was a big part of that 6 race schedule. He's going to be so busy running the ARCA season and down there, and potentially running for a championship down there in ARCA. He's going to be focused on that. This Xfinity program with us is just about getting him more experience in these cars on these racetracks to potentially prepare him for a full-time Xfinity season going into the next year. I mean, that's the goal, right? That's what he's working towards with sponsorship. That's what he wants to work towards with our team as well. Whether we're the team for that in 2023, I got to get my years right. If we're the team for that in 2023, we obviously, that's really exciting. We love Raja. He was in the shop today, and they're helping take a seat out of a car. He's a great kid. I think he's going to do a great job for us, and he's going to be just so important to our sport moving forward. Like I said, we just feel blessed he's going to be a part of our team. But that 6 race schedule, I think that's really important for him long term, right? He wants to be running for Rookie of the Year in 2023 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Absolutely. And then I know that the off season's been, really busy for you guys, but overall, I know that trying to get all these, these cars and all that stuff. How's that been going?
Yeah, it's really about, we're not really trying to grow our fleet of cars. We've got 10 cars. We like our cars. I know that kind of everybody's blowing the doors off these Cup Series shops out there shopping for parts and cars and all that. We feel pretty good about what we got. We had good speed with our cars last year. Now we are shopping for parts when we can find them. But it is a tough sledding right now because you have a lot of buyers. It is truly a seller's market right now. I think everybody kind of figured it would be a buyer's market. That really just hasn't been the case. I think you have so many teams trying to expand right now, especially in our series. It's kind of created a situation where a lot of these teams don't want to let go of all the parts they've got. So we're getting what we think is the bare essentials, right? We're upgrading the stuff that we have. We're really trying to get more uniform with all of our cars, with everything down to brakes, to power steering pumps. I mean, we want all of our stuff to feel the same now, especially when we're going to have different drivers in the car. I feel like that's so important for the car to feel the same, even though you're going one car to the other. You're only getting that through the steering wheel and the pedals. So standardizing all of that stuff, I mean, it costs money, but I feel like that's going to pay off in the long run. If we can give a consistent feel to these drivers, like Raja, especially at the beginning of his career, whatever car he's driving for us is going to feel the same. That's going to be extremely important.
And last thing, I don't know if I missed this. I don't know if you've already announced this, but have you decided on who your crew chief is going to be for the 44 team?
Well, yeah, Dan Stillman is our crew chief. And he was our crew chief last year, and he just came on early in the year and did just a fantastic job for us. We're so excited to have him back. We've also assigned Paul Clapperud, who was crew chief at JD Motorsports last year and has come over with us now full time, and also Frank Kerr. We've signed him as well. So Frank Kerr has come over from Live Fast Motorsports. He was the crew chief and competition director over there, and now he's over with Alpha Prime Racing. So we've got a great leadership group there with the three crew chiefs that we've got on staff. And, you know, I feel like that's where I got better this year, Casey. I didn't go out and buy a bunch of equipment. I'm not going crazy, you know, with a lease motor program and spending, you know, 750 grand in the off season. I'm not doing that. I just hired two really good people to my program. Buddy Cisco, who had helped us for the last 2 years, has done such a fantastic job. He took a position with Brandon Brown's team, and I know he's going to do a great job over there. So like kind of filling that role with Frank Kerr and then adding another great crew chief with like Paul Clapperud. I think we got great chemistry right now. We got great continuity. And I feel like our cars, we feel good about our platform there. I didn't want to go out and reinvent the wheel there and try to get all new cars and everything else. I feel good about what we got from a handling standpoint. It's just about how can we make our cars a little bit better? How can we upgrade some of the bolt-on stuff there? How can we give ourselves more depth of parts and inventory? I think that was the thing that I really wanted to focus on in this offseason, and we've been able to do that.
All right. Well, Tommy Joe Martins, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. We'll be talking to you throughout the year. Thank you so much for this. We'll see you in Daytona.
Hey, thanks, Casey. Good talking to you.